Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to anyone who subscribed or who has subscribed in the past. And thank you for all the lovely comments on the last video. It really is, it's really heartwarming to read, thank you. Today's reading is going to be a channel message about you. So I'm going to go through the structure of almost a bit like an astrology chart because it's easier for me to think in that way. So like 10 different aspects of you. And then I'm going to, as I always say, I don't think I'm psychic, but I think we all are, if that makes sense. So my channeling will be basically me taking in that information and then relaying it mostly without looking at the card. So it's got more of an easy flow. And that's my, I feel that's how people, well, that's how I would channel, because it's like intuition from the cards in a more flowing style. That's what I'm saying anyway. I think that's it basically. The only thing I was going to say, that when it gets to channeling bit, you could interpret it in your head as in this person dreaming about you. So what would happen in the dream? How would you be represented? How would you come across, and what sort of action would you be doing? It's the impression that they get of you, so you can think of it like that as well. So you have got 3 cards. The first one is the Ace of Wands, the second one is the Ace of Pentacles, and the third one is the Ace of Cups. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll just get stuck in. Okay, let's get started. So this is the jigsaw bit where I give you it piece by piece. So it's like getting each little part of the jigsaw together, and then I'm going to do the channeling in inverted commas afterwards, when I just sort of know what I've seen, and then I can put it into an easier flow. So to begin with here, this is going to be like your first house in astrology. You've got the star card there. So you're going to appear initially, this is how they will, this is how you, the energy they will feel as soon as they see you, and how you will appear straight away in a dream. They'll recognize you through a feeling of excitement, a feeling of electric type energy that is difficult when people are around you with this energy. They will find it difficult to find their words, or they will feel excited and not be able to explain the reason why. There's always a feeling around the star card and Uranus of something quite different about you. You're the type of person who probably, let's just say you're in a meeting and everybody was asking the same questions. You'll try really hard to find something different. And it's not just, it could be, depends how developed you are, I suppose. It's not finding it something different for the reason to look like you stick out, or, you know, part of it like your ego. It will be more finding something different to perhaps make the person you're interviewing feel more awake. So the impression that you'll have on them is waking them up a little bit. There will be an element of possibly the way that you dress is slightly different, a little bit, maybe a little bit of rebellion there in the way you dress. You don't like wearing the same things as everybody else. And you'll have your own style. It doesn't have to be rebellion in the true sense, but it could feel like that. You may speak fast, you may be slightly nervous, you may be interested in different things again, and your interest will lie more in the occult, psychic, electronics, music, that type, with this type of energy. And that's the impression that they will get straight away. And in dreams and things, it's a very obvious feel, isn't it? You know, but it's difficult to explain. You don't see people's faces. Excuse me, I'm rather excited today. You don't see, I've been rushing around. You don't see people's faces in dreams, but you feel their energy. And this is alive. And this is expectant for people to understand, and for, which is difficult to explain, for life to feel true and right, and to see through the fuzzy dullness of reality. That's you. Okay, so the next house, your values, it's a feeling of If this is the house of like your values and finances and that Taurian house, it's going to have an element of confidence. Well, you will have an element of confidence about you. It's like having your own set of values and not really caring whether they fit in with these two together in reality. There's an element of fire in this. So there'd be an element of, I'm going to try it anyway. It's not sheepy or insipid or watching other people to find out what their values are. It's more like, well, I'm quite a strong person. And both these cards together indicate strength. And it indicates almost like, I'm going to test life. So people are going to get an edgy feeling from you and a feeling of not following others or follow. And it could also be here, it can stretch to, as I said, not following other people's dress sense or other people's music choices, but also with these two here, it could be an element of questioning political values or, you know, social values, that type of thing as well with these two here. This is like assertive, and that's your value system, and this is got a hint of, I'm not saying totally because you could be on either side of it, but it can have a hint of pushing boundaries. And a little bit where like, I'm going to wake you all up type of feeling. So you're coming out as fresh, you're coming out as interesting and exciting, if not a little bit unnerving. And that's probably how they will sense electronically in some way in their dreams, or how they will, how a clairvoyant would explain that the energy. Oh, this person's coming into your life and they're going to rock you around a little bit. They're going to make you feel excited, but they're difficult to hold on to, and they don't look for other people to say yes or no to them. They, and this is you, will choose your own path. Okay. With regards to the way that you communicate, with the Page of Wands here, again, okay, this is interesting because this to me suggests following intuition, because the moon up here and the bird following it. The Page of Wands obviously is a little bit of a taste of your value system here, which is the Ace of Wands. I feel that you're quite quiet and you don't reveal, and you've got that up here as well, you don't reveal your strong tastes or your strong, I can't think of different words, value system. You just, it's difficult to explain, because some people like to assert themselves in the outside world, don't they? They like to, if they like to disagree loudly, or they like to express themselves, whether it's positive or negative. There's a feeling here that you're strong inside yourself, but you don't feel the need to change anybody else. It's more like you change just by being yourself. You change other people's viewpoints or life, or anything. You change the track that they're on without consciously knowing it. Okay. A view of home and where you've come from and what makes you feel stable. It could be lots of brothers and sisters with the Three of Cups here. It could be a need to be valued and to be able to exchange yourself, as in like to chat with people, and to have almost like a busy household, or to feel stimulated at home in some way. Because it's because it's a Three of Cups and the cups remind me of emotion, it makes me feel that you could be comfortable with a group of people around you that are family, or that feel like family. It's not lots of strangers coming in out of your house, or you may have just grown up with lots of people around you where you were able to possibly debate your thoughts, your feelings and your views on life. Maybe you had somebody particular close to you who you were able to throw your ethos, I can't think of a different word, back and forth, that type of thing. But somebody who loved you, and somebody who allowed you to express yourself, and somebody allowed you to be different. It could be brothers and sisters, because you've got like a group of people here. Maybe you've grown up with, and you would, as we grow older, we try to replicate, possibly. Depends how well our minds work, because there are negative parts of this as well. We tend to try and replicate our childhood. Hopefully we drop the bits that don't work, but we find comfort in the things that do, hopefully. So this gives me an impression that the person would be picking up, if this were a dream, that you needed to feel connected at home, and that you enjoyed company as long as you were comfortable with it. This feeling, this sort of Aquarian feeling at the beginning, probably indicates you don't need a lot of company, but this in the 4th house makes me think that you need a lot of comfortable company. Once you're secure with somebody, they can go in and out of your life, in and out of your house, and exchange their own thoughts and ideas. It's like comfort with really close friends or with people who you share your emotions with, like close family. Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is interesting. There's a strong feeling that if this were a dream, it would be a very tender dream about you. It would be a dream that wasn't straight sexy. It would be more like a incredibly strong pull to somebody where there was a past life connection, where initially there would be a lot of eye contact, and eye contact in dreams can be quite overwhelming at times. And there will be a lot of holding, like holding hands and being close to each other and just feeling a really, really strong connection that has a powerful impact on them. Because your 5th house, how you relate initially in love, like love affairs, has got the Sacred Heart there. So that can be, and I think we've all had these dreams where we meet somebody and it just feels as if you're almost, it's like something otherworldly happens. And it doesn't have to be sexy. It just feels like, I know you and it's important. And I feel if this person dreamt about you, which is probably an easy way for me to translate this until the end, it would be overwhelming and very tender. Okay, let's have a look at, with regards to the 6th house, which is routine, to me, the 2 of Wands would suggest no routine. The 2 of Wands would suggest options, and the Electric, which comes down from the Star card down here, which it would be, Electric, is very much involved in that. So it would be difficult to catch you. You would be busy. You would be... If this person were trying to find out about you and asking a friend in a dream, what do they do every day? You know, what is their routine? It would be, nobody knows. We see her walking or him walking past, and they're busy talking to people, and they're back again, and they're expressing ideas, and they're full of what's coming next. Nobody knows what this person's up to. And there would be a lot of searching with this in the 5th house for you. And with this type of energy is, and I say this is quite a virile value system. I need to feel stimulated and alive, and this is a very searching. Love is fixed with Aquarius, and it's once they decide that that's the person, it really is the person. And I think that's probably something that's misunderstood, possibly, because Aquarians come across as quite cool, but once they do commit, they really do commit. It's like they're cool. It's maybe like a, I don't know what the feel is. I'm not going to go down that route because I get a bit lost. Okay. The 7th house, you've got this is the one I always used to say incorrectly. Have you seen that picture of King Charles at the moment, the red one? Somebody's put it out there and turned it upside down and put the 2 pictures together. I like this type of image, and it's got like the devil page in the centre. Oh my God, I really don't know what goes on, because there's all these like signs and symbols with the royal family, but there's also a load of trash on YouTube about, you know, what ifs, what buts and conspiracy theories, which I love, but I really don't know about that one, but that reminds me of that. Anyway, it's your 7th house, so what they'll be picking up is options are open. I need to feel love. I don't really care whether there's commitment, or I don't care if there is or there isn't. It's not important to me. What's important is the feeling, the connection, not the marriage or the ring on the finger, that type of thing. I can give you a little story about this. Oh no, I can't actually, because it's too personal. It's too personal, and if I've got somebody listening, that it may hurt them. So let's leave that one. Okay, so to put this 5th house and the 7th house together, the impression that I'm getting that they will be getting of you will be somebody who is quite intense with regards to connections. You need something to feel like real, soulful love, whether that's expressed in the material realm in any way. It's up for grab. You're not bothered. You're not bothered. You don't mind. You don't mind either way. It's the connection that's important. The 8th house. 8th house is like other people's money, taxes. I always find that explanation is very dull. But it can also be like, it's scorpionic, so it's sex. And you've got here birth and death. And the 6 of Wands here is a hard one for me to translate. I'm just going to go quiet a minute because you've got pictures of bees running around. But the 6 of Wands has a giving, working together. To be honest, with these bees in front of me, and we're talking about things that, you know, sex and death, to me it would be an indication that when things mattered, you would work as part of a team. Again, it would possibly go with this feeling here, which is more, I'm going to say group orientated, but don't expect somebody with this energy to belong to the group, but they want to contribute to a group, but not be, it's like writing something and giving it to somebody to help them, rather than being part of the group, which is more fire, to be honest, and wanting to be included. And with the 6 of Wands here being a scorpionic house, it's like you want it to be equal in some way. You want the connection to be open. It's like you want to talk about sex, you know, you want to talk about things that are important, like where are we going in life, and the big, you know, the big raw things that are important. You're not somebody to hide from it. You want it to be equal give and take, is what I would say with that card there. I'm having an image in my mind of 2 Scorpios talking to each other. And I know 2 Scorpios who are married. And yeah, it's difficult. They're still on different. One's very Sagittarius and talks about politics a lot, talks about sociology. And the other one is typical Scorpio, Aquarius Scorpio. So, okay, that might help. So how you would appear is intense about the things that are important to you, but not really. I'm translating Scorpio and Aquarius together about the rest of it. You're focused and intense, but the rest of it you can let go. Hence probably why you've got this and this here. Yeah. To translate it, it's like sex is important to you, a deep connection is important to you, but the little bits around it that can make it feel comfortable for some others may not matter to you. You know, whether you, I can't think of a different way, to maybe get married or something like this, maybe not as important to you as others, but the connection is. And here it would be equality with regards to discussing that. You'd want it out in the open from the very beginning to say, look, I need a deep connection. I need somebody who, with these cards here, is loyal. Somebody who will stick with me through thick and thin, and I will do the same for you. And that possibly will be part of what I guess is an assertive value system here, and a real sort of raw ability to discuss it, to share it. Okay. The next one is the 9th house. Ah, what on earth? Haviv Mochin. That's Welsh for dirty little pig. 6 of Wands, I've translated it as 6 of Pentacles. We're sharing. The 6 of Wands is confidence. So that will have a different meaning. I'm just going to give you a minute of the explanation. This to me I thought was sharing. And to put that with the fire with your value system, it's like a more dramatic feel to expressing very important do or die value system: sex, death, money. And to have that there is like you're not afraid to bring these subjects up. And to me it would feel that with love, possibly with this is like you are very, not dramatic's the wrong word, passionate. You're a passionate lover. You expect somebody to look you in the eye. You expect somebody to state their value system, and you expect a very fixed, loyal, strong relationship, and you're prepared to, yes, if you can express your needs, you want that person to be able to express them back. It makes me think of a very fiery lady that I know who incredibly beautiful. I think I've talked about her quite a lot. She's one of those women who you walk into a shop with her and everybody just stops and looks at her. She looks like a model. she's very, I don't know, just, it isn't just about looks, it's something else as well, just something else about her. She doesn't pay attention, she knows it, but she doesn't pay attention. She knows she's good looking, but it doesn't, it's neither here nor there. She's quite fiery now, which don't look to see if other people are looking. The Six of Wands here would be, sorry, I was saying that, don't switch off. I was saying that she needs somebody to be strong back with her. She said, if somebody doesn't look me in the eye and can't speak to me, because she is good looking and people get flustered in front of her, she says it's over. I'm not saying it's that dramatic, but there's a feeling here of measuring up. You're confident in the way that you expect the big issues in life to be attacked in some way, and you expect somebody to be able to stand up for themselves. It gives a bit of a Sagittarian type or an Aries type feel, more than Leo, to be honest, to me, with regards to big subjects in life and not pulling back or trying to escape from them, and you're looking for that in somebody else. So with the Six of Pentacles, which I've just realised I thought that was that one, in the 9th house, it's equality. In the 9th house, in Sagittarius, and you get this in the Temperance card, it's looking for balance, isn't it? It's looking for the balance between, again, all these big issues, between cultures, between races, between countries. Again, there's a feeling here you may be interested in 9th house subjects like education, sociology, and politics, that type of feeling. And the Six of Pentacles there is making sure you need to know what they will be feeling is if they say something that is a little bit less than with regards to others. For instance, talking to somebody, if they caught you, other way around, they will pick up in a dream that it's difficult. I've done this reading before and it's a bit like he said, she said. In a dream, if your person, did something that was a little bit dirty, let's just use the word dirty, like talking down to somebody who was serving them, or said something slightly racist, or something that was putting somebody else down, especially if there was a degree of vulnerability about them, like a child or something like that, they know that it would be over with this card here in the 9th house. 9th house is everybody's the same. And there's a strong element of being extremely in the know with the 9th house, very wise. And you're looking for equality in that, in everyday Pentacles, everyday activities. It's like they always say about fire sign people. It's a bit similar that if somebody's small-minded, fire sign people go flaccid. I made that last bit up. But there is something in that. Right? Fiery people don't like small-mindedness. And as I do these readings, every time I do them, I keep thinking, well, have I insulted the earthy people? But I feel we've all got the capability to grasp as many beautiful parts of each element, or we could grasp the shitty bits, and it's up to us. There's an equal amount of both in all the elements. Fire sign people, I won't go into the negative there. Nobody needs that. Right, let's have a look here. The 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups in the 10th house. There would be an element to me that is like an element of trudge with regards to career about you, that you've experienced some difficulties. Possibly, I would guess from this energy here, which is quite awake, and to have a career is always going to question your values, and you've got to fight there. So we're stuck in, we have a career and we're stuck and we're working towards something, and in that you are sometimes part of a system. As I say on YouTube, in some element I have to sell myself and I'm shit at it, absolutely awful, because I don't really understand it. I do understand it logically, but emotionally I don't understand it. It's like, well, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And with the Five of Cups here, it makes me think that they will sense that you could be quite rebellious, maybe driven in work, I don't know. But I don't know, it's like you're driven to be awake in work. And with the Five of Cups here, there's an element that you've lost a bit of yourself, maybe woken up a bit, but lost a bit of yourself in trying to conform to getting a career. Does that make sense? I can give examples here. Life may have knocked you down in different areas, but you're still, like maybe like divorce or difficulty with children or, any other area, maybe with family, but you're still striving towards your career, but it's been difficult to keep going. Or you could have been totally disillusioned by some aim you had in life, and hence the loss here, but you're still going here while the Two Cups are still standing. Emotionally, you could have been, I don't know, done over by a business partner, something like that. That's what they would pick up, that you've had a journey, I guess, here with a loss and the I'm still carrying on, because there's an element in here all the way through these cards of being very wise and being very driven, but using your own values. So anyway, that's enough picking out the jigsaw. Let me just have a drink and I'll go to the channeling. So if this were a dream, about you and what they're getting, so this is like think of it how you want, a channeled message. So they're sat in front of a clairvoyant, or they're having a dream, or when they wake up and the impression of you, it would be, let me not look at the cards, it would be, you would be recognised straight away. You would have an energy of excitement. It would be different. It would have a slight wildness about it. It would be very excitable and questioning, curious natured. There will be a feeling here of a strong value system, and that value system would stretch from not just interaction with this person, but through other people around. It's got no small mind. You would hate small-minded people. Or be turned off by them, definitely. There's a feeling here of being very at home with certain people is probably what they would get. So they would be told that, if it was a channeling, that this person has a good group of friends around them, or a good family that they were able to get some feeling of stability from, and able to back and forward. So, sorry, it clicked off. Probably the thing they would notice most about you in a dream or in the channeling, what we put across with more strength, I suppose, is your love nature is incredibly intense. There's a strong feeling of knowing that love is the way, and that may sound very romantic, but love is the way out of here. And to recognise that in somebody else, to share yourself with somebody else without expectation, the seventh house said, it's like you don't mind, is absolutely dreamy. Absolutely dreamy. I can love you and it's strong, and I will give as much as I can. This is what the impression they'll be getting. But I don't really mind where it's going. I just expect you to be as good as I'm giving. They'll sense a bit of sadness with regards to probably commitment, because of perhaps the little wildness that you've got here. It's like you've been knocked quite a few times in life through being yourself. And yourself with this energy doesn't conform very easily. And it's a magical feeling. But it may feel, when you're younger, you can feel quite bruised by this feeling. You expect everybody to be open and honest, and big business is a shocker. And I don't mean just big business. When money's involved, and as I said here, with expectations are involved, people, even small business, can lose. You're looking for something else, and it can be lost in a work scenario. And that may have hurt. You may have been slightly bruised by that. So this will be my channel message. Sorry, that wasn't very good. It would be, hold on to this one. They've got a really good value system. They may come across as slightly eccentric, slightly difficult to control.
They've got a beautiful soul that knows how to give and will probably wake you up a bit. Don't bruise them. Don't expect them to conform too much, and don't put pressure on them to play. Oh, I can't think of the word. I'm thinking tailgate. To step into line with what maybe your value system, if it's not well thought out. Because this person will probably, this is you, will probably change you in a big way. So relax with it and watch, is what they would probably say. Don't hide anything from this person. Express yourself, be strong. Don't allow, this is you, don't allow the person who is strong, you, to, don't step backwards from them. Meet them straight up, be confident. And when it comes to big issues like sex and death and money, it's like, say what you need out of the situation, because they will expect that, because they will say what they want to. And they need equality, they need strength, they need somebody to come back to them with a love nature that is tender but solid. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. It's really difficult to do that. Yeah, I hope that helps. It takes a long sort of weeding it out to try and feel it, but that's what I've got. Thank you very much for watching. I will put new readings out. I try to do it if I've got some left on Sunday, so there should be a few out. Most of the time it's tarot. Astrology readings tend to take such a long time that I don't put them out very often, but I do occasionally. Yeah, thanks very much. Bye. Right, pile number 2. Let me just straighten these out. This is going to be a reading where I will sort of go through it like a jigsaw, because each of these cards will represent in my mind somewhat house, to get the information out and to find the archetypes, I suppose. Then I will try and put it into a channeled message about you. I'm trying not to do too much flipping, but I am flipping into how this person would feel if you came into their dream. What do they feel about you, and what subconsciously, how do they see you, and that's how you will appear in a dream. I think that happens quite a lot. We don't see faces a lot in dreams, I don't, but you just get a very strong feeling about people when you recognise them. You've got the Sacred Heart for the first house, so this will be first impressions. First impressions that they will get of you if you were coming in a dream, not literally, maybe. Would be a feeling of intense love and ease and comfort, somebody that knows how to love. And to be honest, this feels like we get these feelings when we dream about perhaps somebody that's died who we're very close to. It's very hard to explain. And I've talked about these books quite a lot, but Robert Monroe's books, Outer Body books, are fantastic. I read them possibly 15 years ago. I haven't reread them, but they made a big difference to me, made me see things in a different way. And there was one, when he had out of body experiences, went to different worlds, met different people, saw the future, that type of thing. And he does it in a very methodical way, that it's a bit scientific in some way. And then he set up his own business afterwards. He was a journalist to begin with, or a radio ham, whatever the word is. Then he set up his own company, going investigating sleep, I suppose, and out-of-body experiences. He said that the most profound experience he had, when he almost wanted to give it all up, was when he met his wife who had died in his dream. And these dreams are going to be like reality to him. He said it felt like it was, reality as much as I've got this table in front of me now. And to meet somebody you love, and that intensity is overwhelming in a dream. Really, really overwhelming. So this person, with regards to how you first appear when you come into that dream, is going to perceive you as just being one huge ball of, like a gift of love, really. which can often feel a bit motherly, I think. And I don't mean that in a dour way or twin set and cardigans, but more in a way of acceptance. It's like ease and intense love, 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 love. Right, let's have a look. With regards to your values, you've got the Six of Swords here. A Taurian house with the Six of Swords. And to me, that's an element of fear with regards to something being taken away from you. You've got here the bird flying with the little eggs away. So you would come across in a dream as incredibly intense and loving, but with a slight edge of wondering whether something was going to go wrong. It's like past pain there, or past hurt, or a relationship that didn't work out, or a divorce, or kids that weren't with you now, or that type of feeling, maybe a karmic feeling of, I feel like it, but I'm almost like standing back a bit to see who you are. And that would be interpreted in a dream as your person wanting to comfort you in some way, feeling that you were a genuine, open-hearted person, but also that if there was some karma embedded in you that felt like something was going to be rehashed or redone, and wanting you to drop that feeling, I suppose. Let's keep going. Okay, with the... I don't know, I'm shouting. The third house, this is that house of communication and brothers and sisters and short journeys. They're a bit sort of diverse, aren't they? With the Ace of Swords here, to me, I would interpret that as you were very truthful, very open, very honest. And possibly if you've got these cards out already to read a little bit about you, you would say, I'm very proficient at giving. I understand the importance of love in lifetimes. I've been burnt a few times, and I'm prepared to be very open and honest about that. I'm not going to hide it. I know it's a problem, or something that nips at me, and I don't want that to affect this relationship. So it's honesty with a little bit of pain and a strong love nature. Strong love nature. This is really hard for me to explain, but to have that in your first house is beautiful. It's a feeling of, you know what's important. It's not, to me, it doesn't feel like Venus in your first house. It's like Neptune in your first house with, on your ascendant, with really lovely aspects, which is like spiritual love. You understand the importance of why we're here. It's like a mystical feeling, isn't it? Neptune on the ascendant can be. It's like otherworldly. So we've got here in the fourth house, the Nine of Wands. These two go together. This is like somebody who's very soft-hearted, maybe a strong Pisces quality in there, who has been run roughshod in lifetimes. It's like, you see that nowadays, don't you? You see people, and on YouTube we have this fantastic a privilege of being able to be in contact in some way, to be able to watch people who have lived this. I mean, really lived this. As in, they know what is important in life. And I still see these people who give their lives over for trying to wake other people up getting slated. And it's a bit like the Jesus story, isn't it? I know it's not a story, but it is. It's like crucifying the people that come to help us. And I feel that you've had a position where you've tried to be yourself or introduce people into different ways of thinking in past lives, and in some way you feel you've been slaughtered. I don't mean slaughtered and crucified, but you felt like that. The Nine of Wands is like the fourth house, your foundations and your core, and you're hiding. But you're this. But if somebody with this energy comes down into what I guess is like a darker experience, a harder experience, you're going to meet a lot of roughness. And that's to put it in mildly. I don't think it's so much now. I think we're just on a bit of a up and down moment at the moment, where people are realising they've got to make a choice. But I feel you may have had lifetimes here of being misinterpreted and in somehow having people who are energetically less than you taking advantage. Maybe marriages, connections here with the eggs here, you know, people, perhaps, yeah. And we can somehow rehash that, not rehash, that's the wrong word, but we can relive that in some way, maybe at the beginning of our lives, until now with more awareness we become aware, we become aware of it, and we can transform it in some way to think, actually, I'm done with that karma, let's move on. So how this person will be interpreting this in a dream is beauty gifted with regards to how you relate to people, a softness, and if you like, precious is the word I would use here. Very precious person who has been a little bit burnt and very open about it. Right. With regards, again, fifth house. Fifth house is the house of joy and fun and silliness and love affairs and giddiness and flirting. And you've got the moon card here. It's like your ability to love is incredible, it's potent, but your ability to flirt and to be silly it fluctuates. Let's put it like that, because you've got these cards here. Again, you could be very open about it, but this person will be picking up in this dream a feeling that cool, and it's like if you fear something or this person does something that may be a little bit rough, you almost go back into your shell. So it's like trying to read the situation, trying to understand the person, then you release yourself or reveal yourself. There's truth here, but you may keep your heart under wraps in some way. This person senses it. I've seen people like this. And it's like you really want to get close to them because they just feel lovely. You know, you want to know more about them. You want to listen to them. I felt like I want to just be by them. And then they can be quite cool when you get quite close. But you know that they're hiding something. Not literally knowing they're hiding it, but you know that they're a really good person. But they can be a bit sort of, they have to choose carefully who they let near. Obviously not me. Right, okay. The sixth house, Six of Cups, you could very much be, this person would, if this was like a channeled message or a clairvoyant reading or a dream, they would see you in a work scenario where you're giving. The Six of Cups and the Sacred Heart here, your everyday routine with kids, possibly Six of Cups, something quite nostalgic. It could be books, you know, like library, but something where you have to use your emotions and your kindness and relate to people probably with these. And kids is the first thing that comes to mind, or something that's got an element of tradition in it, because there's a nostalgia and sentimentality. There could be, and I can't imagine many do, but you could collect things, maybe a hobby in some way, collect things like, oh my God, I don't remember the word. You know, I can't remember the word there. It's like artifacts that have got some value because they're old. I can't remember the word. My mother-in-law and her husband used to collect them. Antiques. Antiques. Lord, squeeze that one out of me. Okay, so you may have a respect for tradition. You could work in old people's home, that type of thing. It could be with children, but there's an element of emotional connection in what you do every day. So you could even just like nip into mum and dad, do you need anything? It could be that you're very loving with people that you meet, or it could, because it's routine, or it could explain your job here, and you use your heart in it. And that doesn't surprise me. You give out in your job, because how else can you not if that is you? With regards to your seventh house, the Empress house, maybe? Yesterday, I witnessed somebody blush. This person doesn't blush easy. And I was complimenting them on something that somebody else, well, it wasn't me complimenting, it was revealing. I can't think of the word there either, of somebody else had said something nice about them. And I knew it was something that was important to them. And this person blushed. And to me, with the Empress card here, and you hiding your emotions because of your soft heart here, what you really want to do with both of these cards here, being very sort of motherly, is to settle with somebody possibly. And this person will pick up in this dream that they are having, hopefully, that there's a softness there that needs to be loved and cherished and nurtured. As I said, it's precious. You know, it's like cherishing this little baby in here. You like to comfort others, to make other people okay, but you also want to be seen for your qualities too. Because you can't, it's like you don't want to be stepped on in any way, or to have to deal with somebody who doesn't know how to be soft and kind and to love and what is, you know, to know the importance of any connection. And that in the seventh house, children could be important to you. You could be that if you're having a conversation, a dream, it could very much be either my kids are important to me, you may already have them, or that would be a wish of yours to be able to settle and have kids in some way. This has got a more settled feeling than the first pile. This first pile is a little bit wilder. This is more sweet and tentative, watching and having a strong need for an emotional connection, but it's like your heart's guarded because you love so strong in such a strong way. 8th house, the High Priestess. To me, this is somebody who you will know that you must have these two cards, access to an understanding beyond everyday reality. And I don't know which form that you do that in. It's giving me a bit the shivers, this card, to be honest, in the 8th house. It's a bit like you know what's going on. You can see how energy is formed and how we basically clump archetypes to it to be able to understand it and what the end step is. And in understanding it, there's no great prize for understanding it. It just allows you to see that there's some connection there that you've already sussed. Does that make sense? And those two are quite magnificent together. So if this were a dream, it's almost like a spirit guide would come in and say, this person who is coming into your life, who is in your life already, it's like you're already dreaming about each other. This person has recognised you already. This person's way ahead of you and they know how to love. Be soft with them. Be kind, because they've had a rough ride in a few lifetimes. Give them babies. Right. 9th house, 7 of Cups. The 9th house, 7 of Cups, with these two cards together, the 9th house is like education, can have a feeling of searching for some sort of spiritual meaning, which is probably how I would take these with these two together. Makes me think that you can interchange your spiritual perspective, excuse me. It's like you don't conform to a particular, particular religion or form of spirituality. It's like you're interested in knowing what works for you, in understanding how things are formed and how you can use them possibly with this card here. It's like you can dip into different texts, or you can listen to people's viewpoints from Christianity or Hinduism, or I'm going to say Islamic traditions, but I'm not really sure. There must be a name for it there and I've lost it. I apologise if you... oh my God, I've done this in school with the kids and I've gone totally blank. It's just Islam, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, or Jewish. I don't know. I don't really know. But to me, it's like you're open as long as it makes sense. You don't mind where it comes from, who the prophet was. It's like, I just need to understand. So there's a degree of openness here with regards to your searching for meaning in life and a real understand. And to me, it's like you've lived lifetimes before of trying to gain an understanding from lots of different teachers, the fact that you're now embodying it with this card here. So it wouldn't surprise me whether you have been in different forms of occult schools, different traditions where you've learnt to understand energy. And that's why you're ending up with this one, because you understand the importance of it. With regards to your 10th house, which is like the accumulation of karma, possibly, it can be job, and I did actually relate this to job in the first reading. You've got the karmic release card here. To me, with these cards here, it's like
it's like do or die incarnation to me. It's like with this incarnation, I understand what's going on. I have enough experience. I'm coming across as love in your dream because that's who I am. I'm looking for a connection that makes me feel nurtured, and then I can release the last bits that niggle me in this lifetime. So what I've got here, if this were a channeled message about you to your person, this is how it would go. This bit's difficult for me, so please bear with me. I'm trying to interlink it between it appearing in a dream because it feels a little bit more otherworldly. A channeled message would go, this person is, this is you, is tired, worked incredibly hard for many incarnations. They have learned the real reason of why they are here. They've got it sussed, they can do it. What they have got is a little bit of karma left over where they have been pummeled by a darker world or people that are less evolved as them in some way. What they need to do is to experience a connection with you that feels nurturing with these cards down here. Don't try and lie to this person. Don't say anything to this person that you don't mean or that you're not the level up that you can give them, because they will see straight through it. You can help them by allowing them to express their fears in some way, which they will do quite truthfully. But what they ultimately need is a connection that makes them feel safe, is what I would say there. That's what they would get if they went for a channeled message about you. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. I hope that makes sense. I will put readings out on Sunday night. I only tend to put tarot readings out on the main site because it's just the bits that I have left. They do go to Patreon readings first, which may sound a bit sort of mean, but the Patreon people have been there since the beginning, a lot of them, and it was such a lovely group, and they've supported me, so they do get first dibs. So thank you very much for spending your time with me. I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye. Okay, pile number 3. What I'm going to do in this reading is I'm going to read it in a bit format, like a bit and a bit and a bit, which is like a jigsaw puzzle. Once I've got an image of you, which I will translate as in like you appearing in the dream. So how do you come across in that dream? Then I will try and channel it, which is not me channeling really. It's me pulling the information together and thinking less and just trying to express it. So let's go. So this is how you're going to appear in a dream. So this is the impression that they'll get from you. And I always say dreams are really important in a way that we just tend to sense people. We don't really see their faces, do we? But we get an inner knowing, I suppose, and it comes across as, yeah, how they see you in dreams. So Ace of Pentacles, the first impression this person will get if you walked into their dream of you would be somebody who's solid, somebody they could talk to, get the truth from, somebody who they could rely on, somebody who is helpful and honest and open. I'm thinking, I'm still here. It's a feeling of being trustworthy and very centered, very not easily rocked. Yeah, what people would probably say the salt of the earth type person. Or I've heard people talking about earthy husbands and said he's my rock. That's how you appear with this card here, and having the initiative to get things started, to move through life. It's not like somebody who's sits and is, it's like somebody who pushes outwards with their ability to make life move. Yeah, okay. So, we've had this card already, one of the other readings. The second house is more like your value system. So they're picking up possibly a vulnerability there, like you're there for others, that you're quite proactive and you're very sort of even-tempered and solid, as I keep saying here. But the Five of Cups suggests that your value system isn't as solid as you appear. Perhaps you've had instances or life experiences that have made you question yourself a little bit, but there's like a feeling of being quite forceful with making sure that you keep moving, because that is like a beginning card here, and this is like cups have fallen over, my emotions have been sloshed around on the pavement, but there's still part of me here. It's like a persistence is probably what I would say here with the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like I've lost a bit of myself at times in life, but I'm still moving and I'm still here and I'm still trying. So there's a bit of grit about you, I would say. You may have been pommeled, things that people may have said in childhood, or relationships that may not have worked, or perhaps you're in and out of a job situation, but it's like, I'm still here. And that's what counts. So how you'd come across initially is somebody who is stubborn, persistent, and that everybody would want you on their side. Does that make sense? Let's have a look at this one. Third house, the Wheel of Fortune. You very possibly could be one of those people I don't know anybody like this who talks a lot about otherworldly thoughts, feelings, experiences, interests. The Wheel of Fortune is very sort of karmic, Jupiterian. You talk about what ifs, what buts, and talk about buts. You talk about, oh my God, the Wheel of Fortune, the way that you communicate. You could have lots of brothers and sisters as well with this card here in the third house. You could live abroad. And so how they will experience you is somebody who is probably very inquisitive, very open to different thoughts, which is, is the mix is getting more complicated, and you may have got lots of people around you, lots of brothers and sisters, very chatty possibly, very open with regards to curious. I'm going to leave it that, curious, because I can't think of what else to say there. Because the ninth house and Sagittarius and that sort of karmic feeling here, it's like you know who you are, you're right in the thick of it, you know that life can go up and down, and you want to discuss that, you want to talk about it. You possibly, with the Wheel of Fortune, are interested in tarot cards, occult, anything that gives you an inkling of something behind the scenes, or life is bigger, that you can stop and think, okay, I wonder what the next bit is. And how can I interpret what I've been through? So there's a curious nature here with regards to things bigger than you that may be quite inquisitive, maybe quite talkative is what I would say, which is like a mixture of like Taurus and Gemini, isn't it really as well? And if people that I know solid, but chirpy. Chirpy. Seven of Wands for the fourth house. The Seven of Wands protectiveness possibly with regards to home and family, with regards to your own core energy. You don't let many people in. You can talk a lot, you can express a lot, but you only let, isn't there a film like you only let the right one in? It's a horror film, a Swedish horror film, isn't it? That may be you with that in the fourth house, your foundation, your core. It's probably, if you do astrology, it could be in a cooler sign. It could have Saturn there or something. It's more like I'm looking after myself. I look after people close to me. I may appear like a little bit silly the way that I communicate and chat and talk, but I'm curious and I'm interested in people. But I pull the shutters down if you poke the bear, or if you insult my family, or if you don't include my children, or that type of feeling. It's a little protective, a little bit cooler with regards to how you see your home environment. It's like, don't play with it, don't mess with me. I can play when I talk, but don't mess with my inner stability. This card here. Oh my gosh. Again, I would put these two together. The fifth house is like the house of love affairs and playfulness and flirting and just basically hijinks in some way. A little bit of a sexy feeling about it, but not too serious. And you've got the Page of Pentacles here, which is a feeling of inquisitiveness, It's like you like options. You like to possibly think there's other people around you that, you know, maybe this one, and they'll be getting an impression. If this, let me go back to the dream scenario. If this was a dream and you were chatting, you just met and you were sat at a restaurant, how would you flirt? It's like you wouldn't show too much interest. Oh, that's wrong. It's not that. The Page of Pentacles would be, with that card there, solid, but not committing. Maybe I can meet you next week. I'll check my diary type of thing. And yeah, I'm really interested in you, but let me check my diary because I'm meeting Nathan next week or I don't know, I'm trying to think of a girl's name here. Claire next week or Sophia next week, that type of thing. It's, I can commit, but I need to suss you out first. It's not incredibly flirty. It's like you talk a lot, but you don't commit until you're ready. Possibly. So, in a dream, you'd come across as difficult to grasp, difficult to get hold of, suggesting things, being playful sometimes, but not actually committing or giving anything away. It's like you're like a flirty earth person, is what it feels like, a playful earthy person. It's like you're solid inside yourself, you're not easily moved by other people's tantrums or, you know, misbehaviours or them flirting with you. You don't blush too much, you don't get too nervous, but you like to play, but you do it on your own ground. Yeah. Does that make sense? On your own ground? Yeah, I don't know what the word is. Okay, 6th house lovers. I don't know with this one, that's a hard one. If they were having a dream and trying to imagine what your job was, it would possibly the choice of having 2 jobs. You may have 2 jobs, you may have a part-time job, another job. You may express connection with people in some way, so that could be counselling, that type of thing. You could pull 2 things together. And that's a lot of jobs can sort of, it's like you make things click together, you make things work. And it could be to do with emotions, but the Lovers card to me never really speaks initially of emotions, which is ridiculous. The 2 of Cups does more so. I don't know what it is about it. The Lovers card to me always feels a bit, I don't know. You make connections. So you could work in transport and, you know, do bus routes. I don't know. It's you make life easier, or you make one part easier for the next part to fit. Because to me that is mainly duality. Because I don't really feel that you were a dating agency, but you could be with the Lovers card there. I just feel that you pull things together to make things work, which covers a lot of ground, hopefully. And that's what they will think, oh, okay, that person's helpful. They connect things together. HR or something like that. They make things work. They make jobs work. Or that you could have 2 jobs. Again, you've got another one here. The 7th house. Oh, you're complicated. This person, to me, it feels like if this information was being channeled, it would be, yeah, but this. Or, they're this, but you may find out this. If it was a dream, it would be like somebody then trying to get closer to you, getting an impression of you, and then it changing into something else. Because you've got here for the 7th house, the 2 of Wands. It's like, I'm solid here. I don't really need anybody, but I'm flirty, a little bit flirty with you. And they would say, do you fancy getting married? And you could say something like, maybe if I felt like it or excited me, but I'm not too sure. It's like you don't give that much away. The 7th house is looking for a connection that makes you feel alive, which doesn't surprise me here with the 3rd house being the Wheel of Fortune. It's like looking for a karmic link. And again with the 2, it's an element of duality and stubbornness, don't you? Let me have a look at the 8th house. The Chariot, oh my gosh. If you are quite earthy and you get the Chariot card in the 8th house, to me it feels like a physical connection is straightforward. It's like animal. And earth, you know, that Capricorn can be quite lusty. It's like you don't like to gossip about sex and connection. You don't like, I don't know actually. You don't like to share secrets or, you know, giggle with friends about things that have happened. You're just very much like in the moment, and that's it with the Chariot card there. And it's funny here that you've got duality here, and the Chariot cards brings the duality together. So to me, that makes me think that you are in the moment, very focused when it comes to big and karmic, big parts of like life, birth, death, finances, important to earthy people, and sex. It's like that's important to you. Very scorpionic feel, I suppose, really, isn't it? It's like I'm focused when it gets to the big business. Yeah. It's got a bit of a Scorpio feel to it. This is like I'm playing, but I'm watching. The third is like you like to talk about things that are important. This card here. Yes, but you're quite solid inside yourself. Sagittarius is quite, Scorpio is Scorpio is fixed. Let's try Sagittarius with that one. The High Priestess here, the 9th house. Again, we had this in a similar feeling in the middle spread, the second spread. The 9th house is the house of wisdom, basically. Education, insights, spirituality, religion. How do we gather? How do we understand things that are outside of ourselves? And to have the High Priestess in that house is like, I don't mind where the information comes from as long as it makes sense. So there's oh my gosh, this is you could have a very balanced chart. A bit of fire, a bit of air, a bit of earth. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can play if you want to. There's a curiosity there. There's a deep insight here, but there's also a stubborn practical feeling here about you. You can flirt if you fancy it, but it's got to be the right person. Confusing messages in dreams. Well, I almost grabbed her. I almost, understood him, and like, oh my God, I've lost it again. And the end one, the 10th house. Oh my gosh. That's a cracker to interpret. The 10th house is at the top of your chart. It's like, what are you aiming for in this lifetime? What's important to you to make a stamp on in the outside world, so that when you're dead and gone and people say, so-and-so was this. This is what they did. And to have the Four of Swords in your 10th house could very possibly a feeling of peace. Yeah, that's it, I think. It's like you just want to be left alone. Health or peace. You don't have any aims, which is absolutely spot on. Maybe that's why you've got this in the 3rd house. It's like you understand the big picture, and to have no wants or desires is just the ticket. How could you have that in the 3rd house of your, the way that you think and your mind, which is understanding karma, understanding where you are at this very moment and possibly how to get out of it, and here having no great desires to be something or to be seen as something. Very interesting. So this is the bit that's difficult. Well, it's all difficult to be honest, but the channeled message about you is going to be a mix between me trying to talk a little bit more freely with what I've sensed from that, I suppose, and try and interpret it as in how would you appear in a dream. So what would be said, the channel message would be, you've met somebody who you can't quite understand. They are chatty and talkative and playful and very open to lots of different ideas. But when you think that you can flirt with them, when you think that you've got them sussed, they tend to just shut down and go quiet without being grumpy or aggressive. It just is, you can't quite make out who they are and what they're thinking. This person has a deep understanding of how life works. They know enough to be in the moment in every second. They're interested in deep connections. They're interested in finding the duality here, somebody that they knit with, and a physical contact is important to them. and they'll be very strong in that area. You'll be very sort of, very in the moment and very lusty. I can't think of a different word. I would warn you to never speak badly about any connection of their past or their family, because they're very, very protective of the people that they love or things that they have built up over lifetimes, even though they've no desire to take things further. There's a real sense of ease with regards to how they have accumulated their value system, but with this house and this house here. But also there's a feeling here of knowing that it's quite painful to try and maintain that value system. They understand the karma of it, with these cards here connected, but they understand that they're still very much enmeshed in life, and there are times when they feel hurt, and I feel that you will sense that possibly with slight protectiveness. If you try and flirt with this person, you may find that they run hot and cold with these cards here. What they're trying to do is suss out how you respond, to suss out whether you're worthy or whether you're going to stick with them. They make connections with people. They may have communication, lots of different type of friendship groups, daily activities, and 7th house long-term relationships. What they're really looking for is somebody who's going to make them feel alive and awake, and somebody they can move forward with, who they can rely on. It's probably what would be said in a channeling. That's quite difficult. Let me just give you a couple of sentences before I go. You've got somebody here, this is you, with a strong sense of self. They understand who they are and why they are that particular energy at this particular time in their life. They're very confident with how they approach life, and they're not easily rocked by other people's thoughts and opinions. What you will find is that they may run hot and cold. It's not because they are hot and cold, it's just that they're integrating lots of different energetic systems into their makeup. You've got inquisitiveness, playfulness, curiosity, and otherworldly view. You've got the ability to want to test people, possibly with this card here and these cards here, and the 8th and the 5th house. So they're watching you all the time. So you need to be strong to match up with this person. You need to not play with them. You need to be open and honest. And you need to be patient with them, because they may come across as a bit, I'm going to say dry, this is you. Or you may, if you're not secure in yourself, you will feel like you are being judged. And you're not. It's just this way that this person has learned to relate. Lots of watching, lots of understanding, playfulness, and then a quiet and a real solid core inside themselves. And so you need to basically measure up and be strong. And if you need somebody with a passionate nature, as in they need to be passionate, not you, because I think you already are. So that's what I've got, pile number 3. It's difficult. It's really difficult to pull it all together. But that's how I guess, if that was a dream, that's how you would come across. It'd be very difficult. You know, you're trying to get your dream back, and you think, oh my God, I almost got that information, but you didn't quite. And that's how they would think. They were just about to talk to me and reveal everything, and then you never do. It's like you're a bit of a mystery, and you come across as very confident, very secure in yourself, but it's like they want to know more about you. It's probably what I'd get there. So that's what I've got, pile number 3. If you like the readings, I try and release them on Sunday nights on my webpage, which is HULUPPU.co.uk. I can release a few, and I don't normally release astrology charts because I honestly give them I give it to Patreon first, because the Patreon people have been with me from the beginning and very supportive. So if there's some left, I'll put them on the website. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye.